Hi guys, I'm Paul Abercrombie, and in this video I want to give any new developer my top 5 tips of stuff that they should make sure that they're doing. Maybe you're just making that step from being a portfolio landlord to becoming a developer, undertaking a refurbishment project, a commercial conversion, a new build project, or you've just got started on your first development. Here are my 5 tips of things that you should definitely be doing as a developer. So I'm going to summarise the tips in order first, and then I'm going to go into a bit more detail on each one and then give you a summary at the end. So number 1 is consistency when appraising your developments. Number 2 is set yourself some risk management standards. Number 3 is set up a document management system and record everything. Number 4 is pick your ideal development model and stick to it. Number 5 is get some training, support and advice. Consistency when appraising your developments. So you will all know that your development appraisal is the first thing you do to highlight the sites you wish to move forward on and the ones that you wish to avoid. And we like to split our development appraisals into 2 stages, a desktop appraisal and a full site development appraisal. Now, when we talk about consistency in development appraisals, it's the understanding of the formulas and the numbers that you're going to use and the ability to become quick and consistent at appraising those developments. The more appraisals that you complete, the more sites you're looking at and the more sites you will find and the better you will be as a developer. So you need to make sure you have a consistency and a way of appraising those sites quickly and efficiently. Now, most developers use a spreadsheet to do that, and they set up their own spreadsheet and their own model. Some use a traffic light system for appraising developments. How you do it is down to you, but just make sure you understand the formulas that you're using, you understand the calculations for those formulas, and the base figures that you're using are consistent and that you apply a level of consistency to your development. There's no point starting a new development appraisal for every site on a completely different spreadsheet with a different method of appraisal each time you do it. It will only add delay, add frustration, and not really leverage your time as a developer. So become consistent on your development appraisals and become good and quick at carrying out the method of appraisal. Number 2, set yourself some risk management standards. Now, what do we mean about risk management standards? Well, in my eyes, the number 1 goal of a property developer is to manage your risk. So I have set some basic standards, only a few of them, that when we are appraising or moving into a deal or moving through a deal, we always make sure we adhere to some basic risk management principles. So these are my ones. I slightly underestimate my GDV, my gross development value. So I take my gross development value, we pull it back slightly, so we slightly underestimate the GDV. Number 2 is we overestimate the construction costs and always make sure you include a contingency. We also overestimate the project time on site. So how long is our total time frame on site, and overestimate that figure. We add some time to the development. And we make sure we account for any market fluctuations or possible market fluctuations that may come up. Now, let me give you an example. I was working on a project 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, coming up to 4 years. And midway through the project, the public referendum on Brexit in the UK was released, the result was released. And we had figures in our contract for the procurement of supplies from the EU, from Europe. And I from memory, I think the item was a lift. And it was around £300,000 for this lift system for this particular project. And overnight, the pound-euro hit the floor, and that one line item in the contract for a lift added over €150,000 of cost to the project. Now, if we had had an eye on that at the start of the project, we would have realised that, we would have understood that, and we might have changed our approach to the way we contracted the builder. Now, there are clauses in standard JCT contracts that cover fluctuation if you use them and if you amend them correctly. If you don't know where to look or how to do it, you probably would never have done that, and therefore you would be open to a change in currency markets, in fluctuation on your project, and it can add up to a lot of money. So I always have one eye on what possible fluctuations could happen over my duration of the project, and make sure that I understand in my own head that my level of contingency in my build cost or project could potentially cover those fluctuations. And if it doesn't, I get myself comfortable with the approach I'm taking in order to move forward. The next one on the list is set up a document management system and record everything. Now, when we mean a document management system, we mean a digital document management system that you as a development business use so that you can access your information quickly. Now, there are some software providers and some systems out there that help with project document management. If you're not using one of those, then you need a very good filing system set up on a server or your computer. Do not use Microsoft Outlook as your document management system. You would not believe the amount of companies, directors, business people that simply use Microsoft Outlook, and when they want a new document, they go to their search and they search the title of the document or the information. The volume of information that will come your way as a developer will far outweigh the need for a document management system. So invest in setting up a proper document management system so you can find information quickly. Simply not being able to find a drawing or a certificate at the end of the project to provide building control could delay your project by weeks, and that will add penalty costs potentially to your financial situation with the development. So make sure you have a development management, document management system in place and a process in place that you can follow. Number 4 is pick your ideal development type and understand the unique processes and concepts involved. What do we mean by that? Well, if you're a developer that intends to build houses, you should understand how houses are built. You should understand the different methods of construction, the principles of building a house, how you can value engineer and save costs on building a house, and have some consistency and repetitiveness in building those houses. How the principles of building a house can be then taken and applied to a second development and a third development. If you're a developer that's doing lots of different types of projects, you can become fragmented in some way and not quite have that transfer of information, transferable knowledge from one project to the next, which is invaluable, by the way. So if you're just starting out on your development path and you choose commercial conversions, then stick to commercial conversions for now. Do 1, 2, 3, 4 development commercial conversions, get au fait with the principles of development, and then move on to a different type of development project. So that would be my advice. There's others that don't stick to that advice, and they move through lots of different development projects in different sectors, in different development sites. Some build houses, then flats, then commercial space. If you're going to start out and you're just starting out, pick one type of development and stick to it and really knuckle down and become an expert on that type of project. And the last one is get some training, support or advice. Now let me ask you this question. Would you invest your money or trust your money with an investment banker who had no knowledge, skill or training to invest your money? The answer is no, you wouldn't. So it really amazes me how people invest their own money into property developments but have no knowledge, skill, advice or training and wonder why the development went wrong. So if you're planning to make that step in development, if you're a new developer, then really get some training so that you can understand the concepts, the principles of a developer, the processes that you need to undertake. Get some support from property networking groups, from other developers if you can find them. And if you can't do any of those things, take some advice from professional consultants before you start. If you're looking at a document and you're not quite sure on construction costs, talk to a local quantity surveyor. If you're not sure on the process of development, contract or speak to a local contractor or a local project manager in your area and market. But my first advice would be get some training, seek some advice from a group of like-minded developers, and then use professional consultants. So let me summarize that again. Number 1 is consistency when appraising your developments. Number 2 is set yourself some risk management standards. Number 3 is set up a document management system and record everything. Number 4 is pick your ideal development type and stick to it. And number 5 is get some training, support and advice. I hope you found this video beneficial. Please check out some of the other videos we have around property development, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.